pleased to be joined by yet another Share Detroit-supported charity and nonprofit to begin today's show. Tracy Cooley, the Executive Director of the Sparrow Freedom Project, joins us now on the MegaCast. Tracy, thank you very much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate having you on as well. Sparrow Freedom Project, led by survivors, supported by allies. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Tell us a little bit about what services your organization provides to people across this area of Michigan.
Yes, so we provide wraparound services, and we're expanding into emergency services all throughout Metro Detroit and throughout Michigan, and actually beyond. We are, as you stated, we are led by survivors, and that's really important because the people that we serve are those that are trafficked and exploited. And we want to make sure that those things that we do for them, which includes providing shelter, providing any items that they need, helping them with utility bills, helping with their family, helping them relocate away from their trafficker. We pretty much do everything. We walk hand in hand with them from the moment that they are actually in this horrible situation until when they're ready to get out or able to get out, we're right there with them. And there's a lot of things that people can do, and there's other nonprofits out there that could do things that can actually re-traumatize those that are trafficked and exploited. And that's why it's so important that we have those who have been trafficked and exploited and have survived it on our board and in our leadership.
We're joined by Tracy Cooley. She's the Executive Director of Sparrow Freedom Project, joining us today on the MegaCast, one of our two Share Detroit-supported charities and nonprofits, joining us on today's edition of the MegaCast. And so what was the origin of this organization being founded, specifically to serve those who may be affected by the issue of human trafficking, either previously or just advocating against this horrific act here in the state of Michigan? How did this organization come about, and how has it developed over time?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Anita Hopner is our founder, and back around in 2015, a lot of laws were, and I was part of that lobbying Michigan, a lot of laws were passed, a big bulk of bills, 21 bills, was passed defining what trafficking is and how prosecutors and the law enforcement were going to handle those that they deemed were trafficked. And so what happened was a lot of the bills were not, when they were passed and signed into law, were not provided any monetary, any money from the state's budget. So a lot of nonprofits started to blossom in 2015, 2016, 2017. That's where we came in. Anita noticed that a lot of people do not know what human trafficking is, and there's a lot of myths and there's a lot of misconceptions. And so she wanted to start providing this information to regular people out there in the suburbs, people in businesses everywhere around. So she started doing that in 2017. And then what happened was she started realizing that people were reaching out saying, we need help. We're on the streets. We're in this situation. And so she started looking around to provide help in those areas. And then she started reaching out to survivor advocates, and survivor advocates were the liaison between those that were being trafficked and us. And so she started raising funds and getting in-kind donations to help provide coats and clothes and a Christmas program and paying the bills and getting them relocated. And then in the beginning of this year, she reached out to me and I came on board, and we are now expanding into emergency service and providing beds because we're realizing that a lot of the beds are not out there. We have partners all around that we work with who focus on other areas, but not particularly just human trafficking. And so we want to provide the beds that after the FBI does a sting, which we partner with them, with other partners like Common Ground, Avalon Healing, all the hospitals. When someone comes in and they've been assaulted and they need the help, they would like a safe bed. So we just purchased a building in Detroit, and we are in the process of rehabbing and fundraising to fix that up. And we're real excited about that. And that will provide the emergency beds that's necessary, as well as some other types of programming, and then into residential programming.
We're joined by Tracy Cooley, the Executive Director of the Sparrow Freedom Project, joining us today on the MegaCast. And so for you, Tracy, as the Executive Director of an organization that's focused on helping people who have been affected in a number of different ways by human trafficking. What surprises you most about the state of human trafficking here in Michigan specifically, or even regionally or across the U.S.?
What surprises me the most is how many people get caught up in the social media with all the myths, the white van, the getting kidnapped at the mall, things like that. That is not really what it is. You get some of that types of scary kind of things happening, but trafficking, the Epstein story right now is really something to watch because you can see it at a rich level, what happens also in the poorer levels and in the suburbs. Traffickers are, they're patient, they groom, they approach the vulnerable, they gain the trust of vulnerable people, and then they start to exploit them. And so a lot of people trust the person that's actually exploiting them. And there's a lot of families that are actually trafficking their family members. So these are things that are really surprising. In fact, we provide CU training to social workers, to those that are in the medical profession, to teachers, to anyone who needs to know what trafficking is, what the myths are, what the issues are, and what it actually looks like. And we actually have one coming up on December 3rd. That's 3 CEU credits. And if anyone's interested, I highly advise to take this class. It's $50 if you just want to take the class, and it's $75 if you want CEU credits. We have an expert who is a professor over at EMU who runs it, and it's on our website, and it's in our Facebook, and we've put out newsletters and stuff. So awareness is extremely important, and that's still a big part of our mission. So we still continue providing the awareness. We have events, we go to churches, we go to businesses, and we talk about this to spread the awareness, because that's where we need to stop it. We need to stop it where people understand what it is and understand who are the Johns and who are the pimps, and understand, what it actually looks like.
So then, Tracy, for people that are out in the general community, whether they're affiliated with an organization like yours or another similar organization that's advocating on behalf of victims of human trafficking or against the act of human trafficking altogether, what are ways that people can identify other people that may be victims, maybe actively being victims of human trafficking, or may be able to see some signs of others that may be enacting human trafficking here in our communities?
That's one of the things, that's why that CU class I was telling you is so important, because a lot of the times it's teachers, it's doctors, it's nurses, it's dentists, it's people coming into the home. That's why Michigan is looking to require plumbers and electricians, people who go in a home to take a human trafficking course to renew their license that is coming up on the horizon, it seems. And so it's really people who are going into environments or are interacting with the victim, and you can start seeing signs of, how they're behaving. When you have a child who's really promiscuous, or who changes, their grades are dropping, their behavior is changing, these are all signs. And what we have assessment tools, and we have different things on our website. We have different resources, and as well as in these classes that will help those who are in those types of places. So like if you are babysitter or teacher, those are the things that, these are the people who really are the ones who needs to keep their eyes out. It keeps their eyes open, And so it's really hard just to say, you're going to the store, is that person's trafficked? Because trafficked people, exploited people walk around in daily life. And a lot of times you can't tell when you just initially speak to them. It's really having a relationship with them or seeing them over and over again and how they're behaving. That's a predominant way to really see it at the hospitals, at schools, things like that.
We're joined by Tracy Cooley. She is the executive director of the Sparrow Freedom Project, joining us on the MegaCast. They are a Share Detroit supported charity and nonprofit that have, as many have been joining us throughout the month of November, leading up to today, Giving Tuesday, through Share Detroit, where you can find more information about the Sparrow Freedom Project and other organizations that are doing a lot of great things all across southeastern Michigan and in the Detroit area and across the state of Michigan by going to sharedetroit.com. For Sparrow Freedom Project's website, it is sparrowfreedomproject.org. Again, that is sparrowfreedomproject.org. It includes programs, events, presents resources, ways that you can help prevent human trafficking in our communities, as well as support and help those that may have been victims of human trafficking, and how you can help the organization through donations and other efforts as well. Again, sparrowfreedomproject.org. And so, Tracy, it is Giving Tuesday. People are looking, as they do often at the end of the year and in the holiday season, to give to charities and nonprofits that are helping other people across our community and across our communities. At this moment in time, what are the major needs of your organization, or best ways, at least, for people to help the Sparrow Freedom Project and everything that it does?
Yeah, thank you for that. So we have several things that we're working on right now for Giving Tuesday. And the first thing that I was talking about is we purchased a building and it needs to be rehabbed. It's in Detroit. And so we definitely need a lot of volunteers. We need to raise funds. We need in-kind donations. We need, we're building a building committee right now. We were looking for contractors to donate their time. We're looking at anyone who's really good at decorating and helping fixing up houses for their help. And so that's what's so great about Share Detroit, because we post on there our needs of what volunteers we want and need. And also, of course, we're raising funds. So money's always important, to do this. In addition to that, we also need lots of gift cards, like from Meijer or Walmart, in increments of $25, because a lot of times what happens is when we meet up with those who have been exploited and trafficked, we want to provide them with a gift card so they can go in and get the food that they want and need, and the clothing they may want and need. A lot of times we do collect in-kind donations, but a lot of times the clothes are old or don't fit or not seasonally appropriate. And so this is an opportunity for those people, because we help everyone, men, women, and in the gay community, we don't turn anybody away. And so anybody that comes to us, it's predominantly women, because it's not seem as shameful for a woman as it is for a man or someone from the gay community. It seems to be they're more willing to ask for help. But we're an organization that doesn't turn anybody away. We are a faith-based organization, but all of our programming is for everybody. And so gift cards and volunteers and financial assistance for rehabbing the building are the three huge things that we are requesting for Giving Tuesday and for every day.
We're joined by Tracy Cooley, the Executive Director of the Sparrow Freedom Project, joining us on the MegaCast. Again, their website is sparrowfreedomproject.org. And Tracy, just another few minutes with you. Sparrow Freedom Project's the name of your organization. What's the origin of that name? Why Sparrow Freedom Project?
That's a great question, because Sparrow comes from Matthew in the Bible, and how God does not ever forget about even the most minute little bird that is on earth. And the sparrow is a strong bird, and a bird that is resilient. And so that's what really represents us. And as you can see in the background, we have a sparrow, we have a woman's face in the wing, because that's that's our whole goal, is to go and provide, and we don't forget anybody. That's why I say we help anybody. So just like how God doesn't forget the sparrow.
We are joined by Tracy Cooley. She's the Executive Director of the Sparrow Freedom Project, joining us on the MegaCast. Again, their website is sparrowfreedomproject.org. That is sparrowfreedomproject.org. And so, on top of donations to your organization, Tracy, what are some other ways, especially now and heading into the new year, that people can help support your organization and all the efforts that it does throughout our communities?
So, there's so many different things besides volunteering and providing financial assistance. You could ask us to come out and speak at any of your events or organizations to provide awareness. And there's also opportunities to come and do tours at our headquarters. Our headquarters is in South Lyon. That's where our founder is. We're in the process of doing a Christmas program. And so we will be, we have all the families that are survivors and victims, and we're going out there and giving them all the needs that they've requested. So a lot of people have basically adopted families that are still out there on the streets. So we everything, signing up for our CU classes, telling everyone about us, telling everyone about what we're doing is really important. Awareness is really important.
Well, Tracy, we thank you very much for joining us. Just another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye today. Anything else that we haven't touched on about the Sparrow Freedom Project and everything that it does to help prevent and also to support those that have fallen victim to human trafficking?
Yes, so I mean, we do have events. We just had one last month where it's an awareness event along with a fundraiser, and so we have a lot of events that come up. We have one coming up in January. I'm also going to be speaking as Stradamus at Trenton's Battle of Freedom, which they're doing in January. January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and so that's a huge month to really spread what we're doing, and we'll come out to anything, as long as you can contact us as soon as possible so we can get on a schedule. We'll love to come out to your events and to organizations to talk about awareness and preventative methods and different things that can be done, even just like with families and how to talk to your teenagers, because a lot of times some of the signs are very similar to a teenager in angst. Teenagers have, their grades drop, they get bad attitudes when they're going through the hormones. So a lot of times, families don't understand, like, is that something that is just a teenager going through life, or is there an actual issue in which that teenager could be being groomed for trafficking?
Well, Tracy, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time and for telling us more about your organization today. And in case people are looking for another organization that they can help support on this Giving Tuesday. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us, and have a great day. Thank you very much.